Hey guys, and welcome back to Building Habits. In case you're new here, this is a series where I introduce a set of rules you should try and follow in every game you play. The goal is to teach you strong fundamental principles that we will improve upon as we go. This series is my personal take on how to improve in chess, starting from 400 ELO all the way up to 2000 ELO and beyond. I'm going to choose a series of rules that I have to follow. What you might notice is that you will miss chances to play winning moves. That's okay. The goal here is to focus on the fundamentals, and I'm trying to get you guys to build good habits and play high percentage moves that will help you increase your rating. Oh, we're up against the homie McNizzy. Let's go for e4. E5, we know that we want to do this. Knight c6, let's go knight c3. What are the new rules? Exclamation mark, habits info. There's a little graphic there. You can click that while you're watching. Might help if you have it on the side. But it's, I would say like some of the main ones are on the screen, but not every single thing I'm following. Can't put everything on the screen, so tried to summarize. Okay, let's castle. And we want to continue d3. Probably this bishop out to g5, depends if he lets me. He goes like that as well. Let's copy him. Okay, gonna develop our bishop a little bit more aggressively than last time. Usually we've been putting our bishop there. Okay, goes a6. Let's rook to the middle. Again, knight d5 is something that we're eventually going to get good at playing in positions like this, but for now, I'm going to leave it out, and after the game, we're going to look at why knight d5 is so strong, and that'll be a very permanent idea that we're going to try to do. But actually, because he's played b4, we get to look at it right now. Ain't this guy nice? This guy's so nice. I'm going to have to move my knight. I can't go to that central square. Would you look at that? I have to go here. Sure. Thanks. Okay, it goes bishop e6. Now, we are going to look to make a capture here. The reason why this is so nice is because his pawns are going to end up like that. Okay, so we still don't want to go bishop for knight for no reason. Okay, so he takes back. Our bishop's being attacked. We got to move our bishop. This is what always happens. When that pawn moves out of the way, we have access to a very special square that we don't usually have access to. There's no pawn on g7, bishop on h6, no pawn on g7. Let's just pick up the queen in our head and imagine we could put it here and put it there. It would be checkmate. It would be checkmate. Now, you guys may remember the last guy who played queen g4 was one of our friends, one of our colleagues. Do you guys remember the game where the guy played queen g4 and I played knight takes g4 and then he played rook e2 and resigned the game without me moving a single extra piece? That's right. It was super embarrassing. So we don't want to be that guy. We want to be better than that guy, which means when we play queen g4, we're not going to hang our queen. That's right. Yes. So let's try to play queen g4 without hanging our queen. First of all, we're going to start by taking this bishop. Why? Because we're still going to follow the rules here. That's a trade of bishops. We're going to play bishop takes. He took like that. And how do we get here as fast as possible? How do we get here as fast as possible? I should say, how do we get to the g-file as fast as possible? But based on where our queen is, I think queen g4 is where we want to get to. Oh, We see a lot of people suggesting knight takes e5. That's a great suggestion. After knight takes e5, queen g4, you would be exactly like our friend from earlier. That's right. You'd be hanging your queen. Perfect. You guys would all lose your queen. The goal was to not lose our queen. Do not lose the queen on g4. You guys found the only way to lose the queen on g4. Very impressive. Very impressive. Knight h4, knight d2. I like all these moves. These are all good because I'm going to be threatening to go there. Now, knight d4 has been suggested by the elite members of the chat. Knight d4 does the exact same thing as knight d5. It's a discovered attack. Now, is this advanced? Yes. There's a reason I want to show it to you, because once you get double pawns, you should be looking at the quickest way to get your queen out here every single time, because you will checkmate your opponents very quickly. Very quickly. Knight d4, he took it, of course, because he thinks we're an idiot. But we're not an idiot. We're geniuses. All of us. We did this together. I'm not a genius. You guys are the geniuses. Look at that position. Look at that checkmate. You did that. Give yourself a pat on the back. If you're watching this stream right now, those +9 points, those are your points. Give yourself a pat on the back because you earned them. Didn't come up with that on your own? Oh, I know. The only reason I wanted to show you that game was so we could analyze it together. So I was actually going to look at it after, but he actually played b4 and forced me to go here. He forced me to go there. So let's have a look. Okay, so as soon as you get this position, you should already be looking for, the next available time to play knight there. The next available time to play knight there. Why? Because as soon as you go knight there, if you look at all his pieces, none of them can actually defend that knight. Not a single one. So anytime you're pinning, that's why when h6 happens, you should not take that. Right? You should move back and keep the exact same idea of bringing your knight in. Okay? So that's why we work on not just taking for no reason. So if they don't play this, and they play, let's say, what he did in the game, I played here. What should I have done? I should have played here. Okay? So I should have played knight d5. And the idea is, let's say he goes here now. Well, I start by taking this. Let's say takes. Check. He's going to have to take back. Now, I was going to play this move anyway, but look at this. I get a free pawn now as well. I was going to play bishop h6 no matter what, just like my game. There was a pawn here, but if I can take an extra pawn, I have no problem doing that. Okay, so after you bring the knight there, no matter what they do, your plan is to take. Okay, so let's say they bring their bishop here, right? Just like the game, it's the same idea. We're going to take, and we're going to put the bishop here. We're going to attack the rook. Obviously, when you attack the rook, he's going to move it. And now you have an option. You don't always have to take this, but let's say you do. Let's say the same thing happens. And let's say you move your knight here. Now, in the game, the pawn was actually here. So it was even better we were attacking his knight. But of course he's going to take it because he thinks you're terrible. Double question mark. And then you're going to checkmate him. It's gonna work. Believe me, this is going to work a lot. Rook e8, and you don't always have to do a fancy move like this. Trust me. Even if you just move your knight to d2, and he takes your bishop, well, keep in mind, if he takes your bishop, you can already play queen here. As soon as that square is available, it's going to be checkmate. It's going to be checkmate. Okay, so the idea is simply just moving the knight somewhere so your queen has access to that square and making sure to get rid of anybody who's guarding it. Like, you will checkmate a lot of people this way. So if you can ever pin this guy's knight and then put your knight into d5 to also attack it, your next move is you're going to take it. He's going to have to take like that. None of these pieces can get back and defend to help. And after he takes back, you put your bishop here. And believe me, there's going to be a lot of checkmates for you. Do we pass into the sacrifice level? No, I'm not going to be playing that again. But I had to show you because it is a pretty classic theme at this level to do this. So I pass that on to you guys as a special piece of advice. But no, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be going for wild sacrifices. That game we did it together. I didn't play knight d4. You guys found it. Some elite members of the chat. Could you do the same with black? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you get your bishop there and knight there, you could do the exact same thing. It's more likely it'll happen with white because you have, well, you go first. But it could happen with black too. Yeah, good job, chat. But yeah, I'm not going to be playing those kind of sacrifices. You know, those are not expected at this level. But this is a really, almost, I want to say almost famous. Like, it's the most common way to lose a game really quickly in a very solid symmetrical opening. It looks like nothing's going wrong. And after knight d5 takes, put your bishop there, and get your queen. As soon as you get your queen out, the guy is toast. The guy's toast. All right, so if you can ever get this guy's pawns double in front of his king, bring your bishop there. Your queen and bishop will deliver a checkmate very easily. Very easily. So anyways, give it a go. If you can remember that pattern, keep it in mind. Obviously, I'm not going to be KOing people like that time and time again here at this ELO, but keep it in mind because it's something very, very relevant. E4. E4. Okay, here. Basically, if the guy's going to give me the center, I'll always take it. Always take it. May you ask a miscellaneous question? That sounds cryptic. You can always ask a question. The result is you're either going to get an answer, not get an answer, or get banned. So try your luck. Start with the knight. Okay, that looks like a capture in general. How are we feeling about that question? Takes. Well, we're gonna go for this trade. Okay, and we're gonna continue our development. Knights, bishop, castle, bishop, rooks to the middle, right? Those are the ideas. Those are the ideas. Okay, well, he basically didn't defend this pawn, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. Yeah, free pawn looks pretty solid. I'm going to make sure to get castled. Okay, we obviously want to move this bishop, right? One of these three squares. Rooks to the middle, and then h3. Excuse me, h3. And if you offer me a piece for free, I was about to move that bishop. I was like, hey, should I go here, 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 or oh, okay, well, if you want. If you want. He's just making it easy for me. He's just making it easy for me. Now, I certainly agree. You know, it's not going to be super easy every time. But if you take free pieces from your opponent, believe me, you will skyrocket in rating. You should just go into every game assuming your opponent is really bad. Just assume they're terrible and that they are going to blunder because they will. They will. Right? It's when you think your opponent's moves always work that maybe you don't double check them. Maybe you don't double check them. Okay, just played the move b5. Okay. Well, hey, to my lazy eyes, that looks like a pawn. Assume Magnus is terrible? Sure. If you play Magnus and you assume he's a god and everything he does works, you know, when he hangs a queen, the 1 out of 1 billion chance, you're not going to take it. You're going to assume it's a trap. Okay, he goes here. He's baiting me or something. Hey, I'll take all your pawns, dude. Assume he's human, capable of mistakes. He's attacking my bishop. Let's save this guy. Let's save him. Okay, he goes here. I really would like to finish my development. He's offering me more free pawns, but I really feel like, it's about time. Rooks to the middle. Okay, he's attacking my knight. Generally, when I get attacked, again, this is a nice aggressive move, but knight c3, just going back to controlling these center squares is never going to be a mistake. Never going to be a mistake. Okay, attacking the bishop. Bishop's got to move. I think it's actually pretty reasonable that I would play this. This is the move we've played pretty much every single time our bishop gets attacked. It does actually trap our bishop, but hey, that's the move I would probably recommend playing in general. Bishop back when your bishop gets attacked. It still attacks the center, so in this one case, we're actually going to be dropping the guy. But it happens. It happens. Let's play h3. We're done our development. Capture towards the center. h3 is a solid move. We always want to make sure to get that in. Never get so caught up in what you're doing to the king, or how many pawns you're taking, or how much you're destroying him, that you're not going to play h3. Wasn't a pawn for piece of free bishop. Not quite. I got a pawn, let's say. It's a decent trade. 1 for 3. We'll call it even. Rook there. What's a normal move? Maybe a pin? Maybe push a pawn in the center? I think push a pawn in the center seems on brand, Push a pawn for the center. I think I could have taken. He's attacking our bishop. Check is obviously a good move, but if I go back and control the center, I can't say that I'm making a mistake. If I play bishop here, it would also be good. Basically, I think you can forego playing the best move for a move that is in the center, and it'll more often than not be very strong, like this move. This is just putting a knight in one of these center squares. It's probably going to be pretty decent. Pretty decent. Okay, he goes king e6. Man, he is really looking to get mated or something. Okay, king e6. He's actually not really threatening to take that because the rook would open up, but let's protect it. It is an important pawn. It's our pawn, our center pawn. Let's go here. Let's protect it. We don't want to just drop it for free. Whoa, okay, this guy is really attacking the position. I mean, is he chasing my bishop here? Let's bring the bishop back. Bishop back. I don't trust his commando king. Okay, a5. Yeah, let's give him a rook lift. Playing moves in the center. Yeah, king mobility. Yeah, he's counting an endgame, honestly. Respect to him. Rook takes. Let's get our knight in the middle. Maybe double the rooks like we're planning. Oh, believe me, there's going to be some stuff missed this game, guys. But even with stuff missed, and there's not going to be perfect games every time, I think we've maintained an advantage probably the whole way. We still got our pawn here, and that looks like a free something. Free knight. Free knight for me. So takes, I assume, or no? He's in check. Maybe he's going to move his king. If he takes me, I'll take back. I've just been trying to play in the center squares. His king's doing some crazy stuff. He does move the king, actually. Let's go for trades. He does have the king mobility, and man, he's tricky. He's tricky with this move. Flagged by 700. I was actually flagged by 700, if you guys remember. I was actually flagged. Okay, I think we'll try to take his pawns here. That's what you do when you're in an endgame. Start taking pawns. Let's take that one. Okay, let's take this one. Now, rook a5 is a very risky pre-move, for example. I do not recommend it. How do we attack this pawn? Well, this move looks reasonable. We want to take it. We can definitely pre-move that. Definitely pre-move that. And I'm attacking this pawn. Okay, now he's got a light square bishop. So what do? Put everything on dark squares. Let's like go here, here, here. You see everything's on a dark square? Okay. And I'm not going to try to like take that bishop because you never know. He's going to move it at some point. We're going to pre-move this pawn. We're going to put our rook there, pre-move this pawn. Okay, and that's a very effective strategy. Everything on dark squares, get away from that light squared bishop. Okay, now we pray to God this works. Wow, it worked. We'll take it. This king takes pawn move. Trust me, boys, you gotta put those hands together and just pray that the ladder takes you home. That ladder mate, I mean, it's not gonna work all the time, but it's gonna work most of the time. Was our mate when the king's in the middle of the board? Definitely yes. Definitely yes. So those wondering, you know, the king in the middle of the board there. You're not going to see every checkmate, but there definitely were some mates here. Knight d4 was the only one that I happened to notice. So maybe there was another one, but this is the one that I specifically noticed. Knight d4 checks the king, and the king can't move. Well, that square is covered by the knight. And everything else is actually defended. So knight d4 would have been a nice little checkmate there. You could go pawn g4, but I would never recommend pawn g4, right? That's one of our banned moves. We don't like to play g4. So if you played g4 here and got a mate, then you'd probably convince yourself g4 is actually a good move, and then it'd be a bad habit down the line. So knight d4 is good though. Knight d4 is good. g4, not a fan. Not a fan. Okay, so anyhow, this guy basically gave me a lot of pieces. A lot of pieces. Okay, we're at 770? 770. See where we can get to. We're going to continue here. How many games did I play? It's a good question. I don't actually know the answer. Maybe someone else does, but it feels like maybe 10 or so. We're going to go e5. Knight there. We're going to go knight c6. We've played this before. This opening shouldn't be a surprise. This opening shouldn't be a surprise. Let's put the bishop out. And okay, we've actually seen this before. Okay, go solid. That's right. And where have we seen all this before? Where have we seen all this before? I'm going to play bishop g4. Let's see if we can do it, guys. Let's see if we can do exactly what I was talking about, getting our knight there. Why are we playing bishop h5? Because we've sort of already talked about how we don't want to give up bishop for knight for no reason. We don't want to go bishop for knight for no reason. So we talked about if I get my knight there, then my goal would be to take and then have him take with the pawn. So because he's played this move, I actually don't have time to do this and win that pawn, but I think it would still be a good move. I think it would still be a good move. Okay, he goes knight here. I think we all know what we want to do against this move. Hopefully we're all thinking the same thing. He goes here. What is he threatening? Nothing. And if I attack him, where is he going? I assume just back. Whoa! The move d4. Jeez. This guy's high energy. This guy's high energy. d4. How to react to this? Well, again, the best way to do things, of course, would be to take and take, right? The best thing to do is take and take. Schnelly's in the chat. Hello, Schnelly. My guy Schnelly's watching the stream. He's like, damn, yeah, this idiot, he needs to learn habits. It's like, wait, I'm playing right now. Mike, I forgot he was in the game. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. My dude's right here. He's like, oh snap, that'd be me. Now, why does this move not make a lot of sense? There's a knight hanging, which means there's a bishop hanging after that. I'm only going to lose one piece. Am I going to take this and this? I'd say it's a little advanced. d4, attacks me. I'm going to take it like that. That man is going to watch himself lose on 2 screens. We're getting stream sniped already. Let's see what he does here. I assume it might be taken. Okay. Well, now we really have some options. So that's going to be not only a free piece, it's going to be hitting another piece. And hopefully we would all play this move, because if he's not going to save his knight that I attacked, it is finally time to take it. It is finally time to take it. Hitting that bishop here, and this bishop's going to have to move. Bishop's going to have to move. Okay, he played knight takes. And drum roll, please. What are we going to play here? I can solicit the move from the chat, I believe, safely. Surprising amount of votes for King E7. Wait, is Schnelly the one who said King E7? Okay, just making sure. I could see that, you know? I could see my guy getting in chat, be like, oh yeah, King E7. Gotta be careful, you know? Gotta check where the information's coming from. Gotta check where the info's coming from. Okay, there's 2 hanging pieces here, right? It's like, how do I even pick which one to take? I'm not even sure. I'll take this one. I'll take this one. Right, but as long as we take one of those, we'll be making the right decision. Takes. We'll take back. Again, bad habit. Don't be giving away your bishop for knight. Don't be giving away your bishop for the knight. Okay, he takes here. It's going to be a check to me. You guys all wanted King E7, but I'm not going to play it. Bad habit. Even when we're up a queen, we don't want to get into bad habits like that. Let's block the check and get castled. Why have I not been castling this game? Because I wanted to go bishop g4 and see if we could get this knight d4 thing again. Otherwise, what would I have done? I would have castled a long time ago. A long time ago. It's that tunnel vision, Potent. You got to remember, why did we even put our bishop there originally and put it back here? It was to keep that pin. To keep that pin. Right? He goes bishop back. I mean, this pawn is hanging here. We can take it with a check. But castling. Priorities. Principles. Let's get castled. Let's get castled. It's been a long time since we've castled, so I think it's important to do that. I think it's important to do that. The rooks can go to the middle. We want to get our move to save our king, h6. Do we always castle kingside? I would say we mostly castle kingside. He attacks my bishop. I'll go back. I know this pawn is hanging. I know it's hanging, but I'm really trying to just get my rooks here and play h6. The fundamentals. He keeps chasing me. All right, buddy. You do that one more time, I'm taking your damn pawn. I'm taking your damn pawn. Rook over, and I think that's a good move by him. Covering the pawn. Slide the rooks over. Rooks to the middle. h6. I'm going to play h6 here because I think it's important to still remember to do that and not get carried away playing tactics and other stuff. Okay, pawn h6. Next move. You missed the random pawn moves? Well, technically, we haven't even gotten there yet. After h6, it would be random pawn move time. We just haven't got there yet. Semi-open a5. It would be good to keep the rook there, but that's so situational, it's kind of hard to remind people. So I like to come up with a rule that everyone can follow, and bringing the rook to the middle is sort of one of those things you can always do, and it'll be pretty good. Hey, he's attacking my bishop, and he's got his pawn defended that now. This guy's not very nice. Ooh, okay. Well, that's a trade, so we'll take it. Gotta save my rook from the attack there. Oh, he's under 10 seconds. Where are the pre-moves from Schnelly? Where are the pre-moves? Nice. Sick pre-move there. Only took him 9.5 seconds. Let's put the rook here. Oh. Now he's pre-moving. A little late. A little late. Well, when you know someone's pre-moving, you can usually take advantage of them. But when there's a hanging pawn, that's what we're going to take. Hey, that's a good pre-move, too. See how much better his pre-moved moves are compared to his actual moves? So much better. GG, Schnelly. GG. Okay, so Schnelly, you got to give us the down low. Were you in here watching the habits? And then you said, you know what? I'm gonna go try these out for myself. You hopped into the pool and you got me. Is that what happened? Because that would be very unlucky. Mad J121. Well, you guys know the drill. We're playing e4 no matter what. E4 no matter what. Knight f3, knight c3. I've played this opening pretty much every single game I've ever played so far. Bishop to c4. And we're looking to get castle. Go to d3. Okay, castle. Castle. Cheers, Schnelly. All right. He goes knight there, and we kind of said, if I get all these moves in, and I can play d4 instead of d3, then I will. So I will. d4, here we go. Whoa, what an aggressive move. d5. Okay, so I guess we're going to react first by taking that. And after he takes back, we got to move our bishop. Let's move our bishop. Where can we go? Well, this is pretty much where we've moved our bishop every single time. We're going to get attacked. We go back. He goes c4. Okay. I have to go to a4 now. This is getting a little awkward. b5, but hang on. Uh-oh, hang on. That's a free pawn. I'm not that easy to take down. And how are we going to continue? Oh. Wow. We won a pawn. And then we won the game. Easy. Just like that. Okay, this is going to be an intense game. E4. Okay. We've seen this before. Of course, we're going to take. We're going to start by making a knight move that attacks the queen. Bring our other knight out and go d4. Whoa, this is a 700 who's got some theory here. Okay, we usually bring our bishop out here. This is our setup. Yeah, there's a few different premium memberships you can get. You know, like gold, platinum, diamond. And I think it tells you at each level like what the difference is, basically. It's castle. So if you're interested in a certain part, like the engine analysis or the puzzles or whatever, then you can just pick the membership level that has that. Let's go rook e1. Get the bishop out. Man, we got a lot of platinum, gang, eh? Platinum is the best, eh? Is that the truth? Okay, he's attacking our pawn here. Okay, let's play the safe move, defending it. Okay. Queen here, let's bring the rook over. You just bought platinum last night. Well, if anyone's thinking about getting a chess.com membership, we have a link you can use, !premium. And it helps us out as well. That's awesome. Matt KV. Bishop g7, let's get the rook over. We're going to play h3, that's our escape square, and then we're going to be done development. Toby Kenobi, I would agree. Toby-Wan Kenobi. I would agree. Okay, he goes knight there. I am just going to go here. Again, if he wants to make the effort to trade my bishop, we're not too afraid of that. What we don't want to do is just, you know, make a move like that and then immediately take his bishop for no reason. Okay, takes here. Let's take back. Now it's time for us to start doing stuff. Now it's time for us to start doing stuff. We're combining all the fundamentals from the first habits rule set, and we're just adding a few extra things like some pre-moves here and there. Okay, rook to d7. Let's get a few moves. A few random pawn moves here. It's time for a4. That's right, Corey. HVOB. Hey, someone did just get a platinum membership. You see that? You see that? It just popped up over my face. You guys don't want to look at my face? Let's look at the guys getting the memberships. There we go. Will be available on the YouTube this week or next week. I think maybe next week is a easier guess. Okay, it goes knight here. He's attacking this pawn. Pretty strong move in my opinion. The bishop's hitting as well. Rook's hitting. This is not easy. You know, there's lots of good moves we could play here, but pawn attack 2 times, tough to defend. Very tough to defend. I'd say knight g5, it takes there, is a pretty advanced tactic, yeah. Definitely an advanced tactic. Let's save our queen. He's playing a decent game so far. I like to see it. Okay, he goes back. I think that's probably one of the better moves. We can double up the rooks, keep putting some pressure. Yep, we can definitely use pins. We can definitely use pins. Okay, brings the rook over. He's putting all his pressure on my center pawn. I'm putting all my pressure on his e-pawn. Let's push d5. Yeah, he's playing very well. He's playing very well. Queen f6. I think we'll probably make some sort of central move now. Like knight here, knight there, one of those moves. Just because we've done pretty much everything else in the position. So let's go knight e5, hitting his rook on d7. He's playing so well. I agree. He's having a really good game right now. Definitely playing, and especially his opening. You guys remember he had pretty much some Caro-Kann, or not Caro-Kann, a Scandinavian theory, which is very impressive. Okay, let's go here, offer some trades. I'm not always going to find the best moves here, and I think the way he's been playing definitely deserves to be slightly ahead. And he is. Okay. Hey, that's a recapture. Let's pre-move it. Let's pre-move it. It worked. Yay. Yay. C6, and he's utilizing a pin right here. So, I always thought there was a good chance that I'm going to lose this pawn. So my d-pawn is gone, but I can take his e-pawn to make up for it. So we can take here. E4. Yep, there's knight e4 for sure. There's knight e4 for sure. I am probably tailoring my moves at the moment to the fact that I'm impressed with his game, and I think he deserves an advantage. Put it that way. Basically, I think following all these rules and playing this guy, this is probably not a game I would normally expect to win. But he's starting to make a few errors at the end. He's still got the knight e4 move to worry about. I'm going to take here. We got another premium. There we go. I just saw it on the screen. Takes king takes. Oh, he's got okay. He knows how to use the dad bot. That's for sure. Let's get this queen out of the way and give him a check. Okay. Well, this looks like a pawn that I'm supposed to take. Didn't I just hang my queen? I don't think so. I don't think so. King to d8. Kind of hard to orchestrate a perfect checkmate here. Let's see if he... Well, of course, if I go here, he's going to want to draw because he has to play that move. So let's play here and check here. Check. He's doing the right thing. He's going back and forth. Exactly what you should do. Guys, this fork has been here for too long. I must play it. I must play it. A very good move. He's hanging in there. He is hanging in there. Oh, love to see it. Oh, I wanted him to play bishop e5. I wanted him to play bishop e5. Oh, bishop e5. Some chances there. Some chances there. He missed it. Very sad. Yeah, he played super well. He played super well. Building chances. Yeah, he's probably a little bit higher rated than that. Obviously, the game was riddled with his fair share of mistakes, but he played well overall. He clearly, like, you know, looked at some Scandinavian opening theory, maybe played a couple moves he remembered, and then just played on his own. He did have some checkmates there, yeah. Mate in a couple moves, I think. Super well, like let's email chess.com. Not even close. Not even close. He had lots of blunders. But for 700, 800 ELO, I think he did really well. Already, I mean, this pawn was hanging for a long time. Knight g5 takes f7 is pretty crushing here. And yeah, I think, yeah, pretty much since here, there has always been ideas like knight e4, which just win some sort of material. And yeah, knight e4 was here for like 10, 20 moves, and obviously lots of blunders there. Queen e8 and rook e7 is probably close to mate. But he played really well. You're not going to have a perfect game. I thought he did well. So, what happened to us in this game? This was fine. I mean, our opening, I think, was okay. Nothing too different, I think, from the first Habit series. Like, if I played this way in the first Habit series, I think it would be pretty normal. Yeah. Missed win. A4 missed win. A4 missed win. Lots of missed wins for me, I bet. Lots of blunders. Probably a very low accuracy game from both sides. Yeah. 35.3 accuracy, 17% accuracy. 17% accuracy. How was that a missed win? Because there was a much stronger move I could have played instead of it. And the difference in evaluation after a4 and the much stronger move is quite significant. So it went from, you know, +4 to -2, which is a pretty big swing. Pretty big swing. Yep, 17%. Let's email chess.com, Kappa. But that's the thing. Accuracy doesn't always reflect. You ask me, I think he played very well. But it's, you know, his game was riddled with mistakes, as I said. But I still think he played well. You know, seeing something like knight g5 to take f7 is not easy. Not easy. Okay, let's hop back in here. Yeah, exactly. Pretty solid fundamentals. That's definitely what I'm referring to when I say I think he played well. Okay, maybe one more win, we get 800. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. So far, things have been going really well, but as I said, I expected that. We added a lot of extra things that we can do at this tier. Let's go e4. Playing up pretty much a 900 here, guys. This is one of the highest rated players I think we've played. Ikten with the Prime, Michael Juper 10 months, Level 69 Warrior 7 months, and Jay Nakai 85. Thanks for the 8 months, buddy. Okay, knight c3. Okay, we've seen this before. And every time we see this move, we always play that. Queen takes. And, you know, if we can play d4, we want to go for it, but we can't really do it. Okay, let's castle. We have to continue development. Let's bring our bishop here. That is a pin. That is a pin. Great move by my opponent. Not playing knight c6. Maybe he runs into trouble with knight d5. So he goes here. I think it's reasonable that I might still try to play knight d5, but he actually does have it under control fully. So I am going to go like this. Works to the middle, but knight d5 is a good move, I think. Do we want to take this? No. Let's practice trying to keep that pressure. Every time our bishop gets attacked, we've done one thing, and it's moved back. Even if I've lost my bishop there sometimes, that's what we do. And as a reminder, when that pawn gets shoved after we do this, we usually copy it. We usually copy it. And that's just because we may as well. He's often threatening to win our bishop. Bishop's nice and safe here. If he goes like that, we'll just copy it. Next move, rook over. We've already got our h3 move in. Rook over to d1. And it looks like we're going to have a nice first day. A lot of, rating gains. We jumped over 700 today. We jumped over 750. It's looking likely we're going to jump over 800 as well. And no, I don't think anything's been too spectacular today. But I knew that day one would probably be the biggest rating gain, and it's really going to slow down over the next couple streams. It's a tough question to answer. How do you decide when it's a good time to use a pawn break? I try to simplify it for you guys by saying, focus on your development first, and then make some random pawn moves. Make sure you have this, and then if you can push a pawn in the center, do it. But it's a tough question to answer. Usually a central pawn move, if it's possible to do, is going to be good. More often than not. If he goes like this, maybe he wants to play this move. I might want to play d4. I'm just going to go for it. Something in the center, open things up for my rooks. Pet the mat. You use these rules at 1200, won your first game. Yeah, I think these rules could definitely go as high as the ELO that you're mentioning. He takes. I want to take with my rook. How high do I plan to go with the series? Probably like 2,000 or 2,200, something like that. I think after that, you can't really give people rules to follow. A lot of it is instincts and patterns. Let's double the rooks and threaten that pawn. It could be a3, could be a4. I don't think it matters that much. I've been choosing a4 for no particular reason. Okay, he's guarding this. And you can really see we're playing a much stronger player, right? He hasn't hung anything yet. He's defended everything I've attacked. I think he's playing very well. He's playing very well. Okay, tough to find a move. I think this is a pretty normal move, but it's not necessarily clear. I have a nice pin here, so I don't know if I want to get rid of it yet. Just move our, we'll just move our queen. See what he wants to do. Yep, chess immense. Very, very impressive game by my opponent once again. He doesn't seem to be blundering that much, and yeah, everything's more or less under control. Oh, we'll definitely get there, Mikey. Okay, so he makes a knight move that does give up that pawn. Because I doubled my rooks for this, that's the main pawn you should be looking at. And when the knight moves away, it does give me time to take it. I realized when I put my queen here, he might have moved his knight because my queen was hitting it. So I actually think this move might be a very good idea by him. So I didn't actually do this move. I did it because it was in the center, or it was a more central move. I didn't actually realize I was maybe looking at his knight there, so that's why he brought it back. Knight there, and unfortunately he is dropping a rook here, so I just have to take it. But again, I actually thought this guy played super well. as well. Knight d7 was probably because my queen went there. It's a little unfortunate finish. Dang it, Mikey. Thanks for the gifted sub. Okay, takes the bishop. We'll take it back. Jinx the poor man. I know. Gotta stop complimenting people. Or they gotta stop playing well. Taking the rook with check first is better maybe, but we're definitely not in the business of doing intermezzo moves, which is like, you know, if something happens over here, obviously you're going to react to it. You're not really going to be looking to throw something in between. Thanks, Jimmy. This is stuck. Cheers. It's a bit of a different take, obviously. Still trying to have a bit of fun here. But at the end of the day, would like if people picked up some important pieces of advice. I think so, Andy. It's more just the lack of a plan. It's more the lack of a plan. It's pretty apparent in someone's chess when they have a clear idea of what they're doing and when they don't. Okay, king h7. I think maybe just double up the rook and queen support each other. Okay, that's a capture. And he's actually going to be threatening my bishop here, so let's go ahead and save that. Do I recommend having specific openings for these ratings? I mean, I just go e4, e5, and d4, d5. Keep it super simple. For the next series of rules, I think it would be probably good to, you know, pick an opening you like. But you can already pick an opening you like. If you like the Scandinavian, you can play it. I think you can still follow these rules and pick whatever opening you want. I don't think they're not tailored to any specific rules, or they don't have to be. Okay. I'm just gonna take this pawn over here. Okay, he takes as well. That looks like a good move. Let's try to put some pressure on these pawns. And time was ticking down. It's more his enemy there. Again, if I look at the accuracy, his might be very low, but I thought he played a very good game. Okay, we're playing a guy right around our ELO. Okay, e4, e5. And even though I've lost the game today, what you guys have probably noticed is that once you add these rules to to your habits, let's say, and commit them to memory, following these rules, if you're at like 600-700 and you follow these ones, you should be skyrocketing in rating. Skyrocketing. You see how easy it's been today? I've actually won a lot of games. Changing some small things, like I think the main thing I changed was basic tactics. Changing a few small things like that, all of a sudden I'm like shooting up the rating charts very, very quickly. Knight there. Okay, let's castle. I'll go pawn there. Yeah, there was a loss. I think it was on time. It was when my queens couldn't mate properly, if you guys remember that one. Chess Punk. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. Okay. Well, we've actually seen this before. We played bishop here, getting our bishop developed a little more aggressively. And if he attacks us, we'll just go back. We'll maintain that pin. This is only a strong pin because it's there. As soon as I take the knight, it doesn't exist anymore. Okay, he played g4, one of the first times we've seen someone do that. And he's castled this way. Ooh, this is going to be fun. Okay. I'm going to play rook here. No knight d4 there. A little bit advanced, Joe, in my opinion. Would be a decent move, of course. But we'll get there. We'll get there. For now, we're focusing on using pins. Like, actually, I should say, focusing on getting pins, but using them, it's pretty advanced to play a move like that when your bishop's being attacked. So we'll save it, but yes, it would be a good move. Okay, he goes rook there. He goes rook there. Well, we're just going to finish getting developed. This is like the attack on Dan. That's correct. If anyone was here earlier, you guys might have seen Dan get attacked the exact same way. Okay, he takes, we'll take towards the center. I also cannot take this way because of the bishop, so makes it easier. Those are the kind of things we want you to realize, Temp. Well, hey, I gotta move this knight now. Where would you guys move this knight? These are all the squares available, and these look like the only ones that I can really move. You know, those are the ones available, but these are the only two that are actually good. I see a lot of h5, which is good. Those that are saying h7, I wonder what the thought process is, because knight h7 is not a terrible move, but knight h5 is definitely the one I would choose. So knight h7, you might think, okay, go to knight here, maybe knight here. It's a decent square. But as soon as you go knight here, what you have to remember is your opponent is just going to crush you. He's just going to send that pawn there. Now, knight to h5, the reason it's so good is that he can no longer attack me at all. How's he going to attack me on this side of the board? He can't even sacrifice for this knight, right? Like, none of these pieces can get over there very easily to trade for the knight. The rook can barely even attack the knight. Knight h7, h4, h5. The queen comes up, and I'm basically getting mated on the spot. Knight h5 blocks his attack. So believe me, I'm not a fan of moving to the side of the board, but if I am going to move to the side, I want to choose this because, look, it also attacks f4, controls a square closer to the center, and it blocks this attack mainly. So that's kind of an advanced decision maybe, but so you guys know, I would always choose this square in a situation like this. Okay, he goes rook here. We got to start getting some moves in. Knight d4 in the center looks good. Time for random pawn moves after that. Is it really intuitive based on the rules? Well, Mascaron, I don't think that there is a move that's intuitive based on the rules, you know? Based on the rules that I've set out, I don't actually think either of these moves would be intuitive because we generally want to go towards the center. So I would even say this move makes more sense. But just the way my pieces were in that position when I was attacked, I didn't have any of these 4 knight moves available. Well, not even that one. So I had to choose one on the side. So I felt like at that point, I'm just going to make the best move and explain to you guys why I'm making that move, because I don't think there's any way for somebody following the rules that I've laid out to know the difference between these two squares. It's just kind of like hard to describe, very situational. So I'll just make this move. It is the better move, and I'll let you guys know why, but it's not something that I expect is going to be easy to replicate. But the amount of times that your knight's going to be attacked and you have none of these squares available to move to is going to be very rare. So hopefully you won't have to deal with this very often. Okay, time for these pawn moves. Time for these pawn moves. Let's see. Thank you, Bilbo Baggins, or Bagginses. Appreciate the compliment. Bishop there. Okay, knight for bishop. That's a trade we'll take. That's a trade we'll take. That's correct, Joe. That's correct. Which is why I don't think a lot of games at this ELO should be won or lost by attacking. And the people that do launch attacks on you are often going to be successful. But I still think you can gain a lot of rating and et cetera, even though that's the case. But you're correct. It's hard to attack without sacrificing, and generally we do not want to sacrifice at this with the rules we're using. Okay, he pushes the pawn. Again, there's a fork here, but of all the forks to play, I think this one is a little unnatural. Number one, because he just played this move, and it's very, very common. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. We are reactive. So if something like this happens and there's things attacking each other, we're generally going to be making the reactive moves. F4, we're going to react to that. We're going to take it. Okay, bishop takes again. Knight for bishop trade, always good. And this sets up a fork. This sets up a fork. Bishop to e3. It's going to be a check. It's going to hit the rook. That is a basic fork, and it's actually going to win an entire rook. It's going to win the whole thing. Like that. That's right, Fork City. Welcome. Welcome. And that looks like a free pawn. I think we just continue the vibe. Take everything. And you see how this game actually started with him launching a big attack against me. But it's ending with me being the one who actually took his material, and now I'm actually playing for the win. Okay. Knight into the middle of the board. We actually didn't really get a chance to play h6 because he took our bishop. So we kind of have our escape square here is one thing to think about. c6 seems to make some sense. We want to kick this knight away. Knight b6. You might regret that move. You might regret that move. Hey, that's a strong move, though. Queen there. I really like that move. Queen there. Got to move our bishop. Or I think it's normal to be reactive, as I said. He moves here. We're not going to do something over here. We're worried about our own piece. We're going to try to save the guy. h4. We don't really know what he's up to. h5. That's a capture. That's a capture. Let's make a central pawn move. Oh, he's trying to mate me. Oh, we got 4 seconds. We got to run the dad bod. You know? Oh, that wasn't a good pre-move. We'll take that. And Daniel HB22. Oh, he knows how to pre-move. Look at that. At some point, Daniel's like, what am I doing? Why am I looking for good moves? Queen G7. He's just like, hey, what do I care? I'm just taking everything this guy has. What is pre-moves under 10 seconds? It means you can pre-move when you have less than 10 seconds. I generally don't want people pre-moving unless it's a recapture before then. I think it's like a bad habit. Like if you randomly in this position, let's say both sides have like 2 minutes and black just pre-moves this or something, it's just a bad habit. White could happen to play this move, you pre-move that, and it's like, something could go wrong. So I say less than 10 seconds is like a sort of good benchmark for when it's okay to pre-move. Yeah, no, he played some tricky moves, though. Look at this. Even though he's getting crushed, he's down a lot of material, he managed to create a mate in 1 threat. I thought he played very well when he was low on time. He definitely had the speed. Daniel HP 22. Right, and in general, he played a pretty good game. What would I have recommended to him? Probably that, h4, h5 is pretty crushing here. h4, h5 looks very devastating. But, yeah, I mean, it was this is a move that knight d4 takes advantage of the pin. But in general, if he goes here, I'm going to be moving back at this level. Yeah, it could be Andy. Bone Man. Well, as soon as he played f4, I realized I could do it, of course. because if everything takes there, the rook's going to end up on f4 and sort of sets himself up for disaster. Let's analyze. How did it go for us? Okay, so in the opening was good, but what did we get? We actually got a very interesting way of playing, which was our opponent just launched an attack against us and castled this way. I don't think we did anything too badly, right? Knight h4, he's gonna. I mean, he should be doing a lot of things here, but knight h4 taking, not the best. Knight h5 is the best move here for us, so stops his attack. Let's look. What would happen if knight h7? Do you see the difference? It's actually crazy. Knight h5 is excellent. Knight h7 is a double question mark blunder. Did you guys expect that? I know it doesn't look like there's a big difference between those moves, but I was explaining I would definitely choose knight h5, and I have many reasons to do that. But knight h7 is actually a double question mark blunder. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. And white can continue in a lot of ways here, but simply the idea of h4, h5 in general, queen taking, is probably going to lead to checkmate, and definitely not a position you want to be in. Otherwise, we brought pieces to the center, we pushed a couple pawns, we always went for the trades, and it was our opponent who blundered. Like most of the time in these games, what you're going to notice is it's not me who's actually proactively making something happen. I'm not launching crazy attacks and checkmating people. I'm basically playing good fundamental chess, and once in a while, or more than once in a while, your opponent will blunder. That just will happen. Your opponent will blunder. If your opponent's not blundering, contact someone, because he should be blundering if it's 1000 ELO. It's flagging technique. Just the way that you play moves near the end of the game when your opponent has low time. If you play trickier moves, your opponent's going to have to waste more time to deal with them, and they don't have that time to waste when they're under 10 seconds. Okay, pawn here, knight there. I think we're going to go knight here. Could go e5, of course, but I would say knight here. Keeping our system makes sense. Keeping our system. Yeah, that's a good one, Andy. That's a good one. Queen e7. Okay, he's choosing a move I don't think is very good. I'm going to continue with my usual strats. Okay, castling. Bishop out. You guys know we're going to attack the bishop. And they take it. They always seem to take it, guys. I don't think it's a good move, but they always do it. They always do it. He brings the knight out. Again, I can't play d4, so I will play just d3 instead. 10 months from tier 0. Thanks, man. c2 and f3 are hanging. So what do we need to do? We need to go back. It's the only move, and we've encountered this before, that guards both. The only thing that guards both. Okay, what are we going to do next? We want to get developed. Hey, we've been using this pin quite a lot, and I think to great effect. Bishop here, pinning the knight to the queen and the rook. The idea would be we want to eventually play knight d5, right? This is one of the ideas that we've been talking about. Knight d5, utilizing the pin here. It's one of the most basic things. Okay, pawn there. Now, my bishop's being attacked, but as far as I can see, 1, 2 attacking it, 1 defending it. Free pawn for me. Yeah, it does seem like a free pawn to me. h6, bishop back. Yeah, and we've talked about this, right? Nobody should be tempted to play bishop takes knight. That's something we're super actively trying to avoid. Bring our bishop back. Let him play this. It'll look scary. He's gaining a lot of space, whatever. But in general, these are going to be weaknesses for him in the long run. And would you look at that? A nice free piece. He's so eager to try to take my bishop. He's giving me freebies. Okay, d5. It's a capture in the center. Looks solid. We're going to take... if he takes back, he's going to hit my bishop, so we should bring that back to safety. And we're going to complete our development by bringing our rooks to the center. But this is looking like a solid game. He gave us a free piece there. We got to take those freebies. Next move, rook here. Put pressure on the center. Bring the rook over. And you can see everything is kind of lining up here. Okay, pushing forward. I think we'll take it. Again, there's other things to take, but we're often playing very reactive at this level. If he pushes his pawn there, I'll be like, oh, what is that? Let me answer that. I won't even be thinking about other things. So we'll take that. E5 is still something hanging. Okay, he goes there. Well, now I have a question for you guys. Trivia for the chat. I'm going to play this move. Is this a fork, a pin, or a skewer? Is that a fork, a pin, or a skewer? It's a tough question. It's a tough question. What's the right answer? It's not a pin. It's not a pin. So it's a fork because it's attacking two pieces. You see, my opponent just resigned. I didn't even have to take this. It's definitely a fork because we're attacking two pieces. Okay, clearly a fork. And it's definitely a skewer because we're skewering the queen to the rook. Now, why is that not a pin? Because if the rook was here and the queen was there in the corner, so the rook was on f6, then it would be a pin. When you're pinning something, the thing in front is lower value than the thing behind it. When you're skewering something, the thing in front is higher value than the thing behind it. So it is, yes, a fork, and yes, a skewer. So it's a fork and a skewer. It's a fewer. Best move for black, resign. Well, he tried to find the second best move, give up the queen, and then resign. Nasty tactics. Yeah, and just one move tactics like that, that's enough to win the game. Zoe the First, thanks for the 7 months. Definitely a bit rare to encounter something like that, for sure. For sure. We're back over 800 with that. I did use tactics, Pineapple Trainwreck. We're on the next level of our series here. You got to get with the times. You got to get with the times. Don't forget to look at the screen. Use !habits info. Bring up that image while you're watching. Let's go e4, e5. Okay, he goes there. We're going to match that with this knight. And we haven't seen this opening before, really. But we know we're going to take it. That's for sure. Okay, take everything. Take. We got to get developed here. Let's bring the knight. Okay, bishop is out. And I can't really bring this bishop out in a good way. Like, he's covering all my squares, so it feels like I kind of have to do this. No worries, Savvy. Yeah, it's important to know the difference, I think. Okay, he's pinning me. We've been always playing this move. Now, I agree bishop e7 would maybe be a nicer move, but we're going to stick to what we've been doing. Okay, castles. Let's get our pieces developed here. Okay, knight out. Again, let's get this bishop out. Where can we move it to? Of all these squares. I mean, this is just not very... It's not doing that much. Bishop here is definitely not doing anything because there's no knight there. There's nothing to, you know what I mean? Nothing to attack. I'll just get attacked like this and I'll have to move. So I think we're going to choose to go here. Takes. We're going to capture, and our pawns don't look that bad here. Castling. Well, we've always kingside castled, but if I looked at the material, I could almost say it's an endgame and move my king up, but I don't think we're quite there yet. One of the rules I said for bringing the king into the middle is less than 12 points. And rook, and bishop is technically still 13. So he's attacking my pawn here. Let's defend it. Why am I using this rook? It looks clumsy, but if I use the other rook, he can take this pawn. F4. Okay, well, let's kick his knight out. That's very, very important. Very important. Knight there, he's attacking my pawn. Knight there, he's attacking my pawn. Okay, well, I'm going to push it. I'm going to push it. Let's take towards the center. Knight e6. He goes there anyway. And I think it's a very strong move because basically he's attacking my pawn. My rook's guarding it. And if I move my rook, then he takes it. So my rook is stuck where it is. Can't move it. But I'd love to move it. I really would. My king cannot approach the knight because it's being cut off by his rook. So, what do I do about this guy? How can I... Does anyone have a suggestion for how I might make a few moves in this position? How do I untangle myself? Any ideas? I think my opponent's got a strong game so far. Push. Oh, we got multiple suggestions for resign. Thank you, Dylan. We have multiple suggestions for resigning. C5. So C5 is going to be, let's just say, less good than this. Why is C5 going to be less good than C6? Well, C5 is going to create a special pawn here called a backwards pawn. And C6, his buddy's still there. You know, I mean, they're still hanging out. They still talk. C5 is, I mean, this guy's just left behind. Permanently. Permanently. We're going to go C6, but I agree with you guys. I like your idea. Move the C pawn, because now my rook doesn't have to touch. Okay, so let's say you guys are right. So now we move the C pawn. What was your plan after this? Now the knight's not attacking the pawn. What am I supposed to do? What moves do I have? You guys said move the pawn. Okay, I moved the pawn. Now what? Attack the trapped knight. I don't disagree. What you guys are going to realize, though, is rook e8 to try to attack the knight runs into knight c7. It doesn't matter if I have a pawn there or not. He's going to be forking me. And I can't move my rook here or here because the knight's covering. So I can't move my rook here, here, or here. How am I supposed to play rook f8? He loses a rook. You see what I mean? I can't move my rook anywhere. You see how annoying this position is? It's crazy. You guys are saying b5? Sure, I can move b5. Sure. I'll play b5. What's the next move there, geniuses? Okay, I'm going to move my king over. It's a tough position. My bishop's hanging now. My goodness, this guy doesn't stop. I gotta defend my stupid bishop now? Oh my goodness. You feel like you're being mocked? Oh, quite the opposite. I'm giving a lot of credit to my opponent here, who is playing a killer game. Killer game. Let's defend my bishop. Super impressive. Super impressive. Now, were you guys suggesting bad moves? No, not at all. Even though you were suggesting good moves, you notice that we still didn't have anything we could do about that. Right? As soon as he played knight here, I can't move my rook to any of these squares. My pawn is hanging. My other rook is stuck. And he's about to go and do exactly what he just did. And mate me. How do you stop it? It's super hard. If you put the king over, all of a sudden the rook comes down here and attacks the bishop. And I still can't put my rook on any of those squares. And if I move my bishop, I'm going to lose this pawn. Right? Very, very, very dangerous. So after knight e6, it doesn't look like it, but black is actually in serious, serious trouble here. Serious, serious trouble. So what move did it have to do with the most? I would say e5. E5 is probably the nasty move because he gets that square. How could we improve that in general? Well, I mean, I think this is a very fine position for us. No worries here. Castling queenside is fine, but I would say in general, you know, even though there's 13 points here, it is pretty much an endgame. So I would be looking to play one of these king moves. Why no room on e8? Well, it's just knight c7. Just kills me. So, I mean, you guys can see, but in the analysis, it's probably going to be some uncomfortable stuff. I'm going to have to probably lose some material to keep playing that. So, what do I want? Oh, no, here. Right. So, after this, 96. Oof. 86. And it's just nasty. You see the moves that are being suggested by the engine? B5, A5. I mean, you know, they're moves. They don't do much, but they're moves. They're moves. Okay, I played C6. Goes rook D3. If I did B5, he would still go rook D3, right? Yeah, it could be D5. You guys wanted D5 instead? It wouldn't matter, right? White's going to do the exact same thing. Right? It wouldn't matter. So this just shows like knight e6 just puts my position in total paralysis. Look at these rooks. They're doing nothing. So something to think about. When you're in this position, no need necessarily to put your king away. You know the action is going to be around the middle of the board. And with a pawn mass like this, I think it's pretty safe to put your king there. So we could put our king here, or we could castle this way. We usually castle kingside, which is why I did it. We've been castling kingside every game for, you know, almost 100 games in a row or something. So that's why I played this move. But king d7, long castle, those are moves that you can improve on for next time. Yeah, he had a strong knight. Well, he made some decisions that weren't, I would say, weren't good. I mean, he played bishop takes e6. I think it's not good at all. Says it's excellent, but I think it's terrible. If you look at the evaluation, it's 0.82, you know, getting close to +1. And after this move, it's pretty much equal, 0.13. So it says it's excellent, but I think it's pretty bad. I think it's a pretty bad move. So he had his fair share of mistakes, but otherwise it was a pretty clean game. Okay, e5 is normally the move in the opening. This is d4, the Scotch. This is the Scotch. And the reason the Scotch is so tough is that when we trade everything here, if we play the knight out, all of a sudden e5, and haven't we had this in the Vienna? Do you guys remember? After e5, it's like our knight has to just go back to g8 again. Our knight has to go back. We have to be careful. We have to be very careful here. Okay, so just like we looked at the Vienna, can you guys think of a way that we can play against the Scotch that's, let's say, not going to give our opponents a completely crushing position and have to put our knight back? So number one, we can take here and then not take back. So we can change a couple things. We can change this move, we can change this move, or we can change this move. But the thing is, if I don't play this move, I'm already a little concerned, right? I'm already a little concerned. Technically, I would say here we can play d6 first to not allow e5. That would be a bit better. And then bring the knight out. But the computer already doesn't really like that. You could use the lines. You could, of course. Of course you could use the lines. They're right there. But they're not going to be that helpful. Queen h4, terrible habit. We definitely don't want to be playing queen h4. So forget that one for sure. Moves like queen f6, we don't want to be getting into that. So I think for sure, move that comes to mind is bishop c5, because that's exactly what we want to do. But just think about the most solid thing that we could do that, hey, if we see this again, we're going to play this. We're not going to have the best position, but it's going to be solid, and we're not going to lose immediately out of the opening. Against the Vienna, we didn't find the best line. We just said, hey, let's find a solid move. Let's find a solid move. So I think, honestly, the most solid is just going to be this. Takes, e6. It's not going to be the best move, but after knight f6, bishop here, queen there, kingside castle, I think it's reasonable. And I don't think we'll see this opening a lot at this level. So that's probably what I would say is the simplest for now. Just there's a nice easy way to get developed. Just good to keep in mind the openings that really kill us are the ones that get rid of our e-pawn. Have you guys noticed that? It was the Vienna, right? Anything where a quick e5 kicks our knight out. Those are the ones that kill us. Those are the ones that kill us, right? So we have to be very, very careful with allowing e5 hitting the knight. All right, let's go for e4. We know e4 starts things off. That's how we've started off every game. d5, and we'll take it. Can't autoplay knight f6. That's correct. Okay, we always start with the knight that hits the queen. It makes the most sense. Makes the most sense. Queen c6. Queen c6. Queen c6. Pin? You want to pin the queen? Oof. I think that speaks volumes. Guys, I have a question. Is bishop b5 a pin or a skewer? I have a question. I think that speaks volumes about you as a person. Is it a pin or a skewer? Question. Pin or skewer? Grams, 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Some people are saying both. Maybe some people are saying all answers. They feel like I'm tricking them. Remember, guys, when you pin something, you're pinning something of lower value to something of higher value behind it. When you skewer something, you're attacking the higher value thing in front of the lower value thing. So you guys are all saying pin. I find that highly offensive. This is obviously a skewer because the super important, very valuable queen is being attacked, and the irrelevant king is behind it. So it's a skewer, obviously. Yeah, I mean it's just the king. We're gonna play it. Bishop b5. You guys are right, but you just gotta get your terminology down. Oh, guys, this is great. This is great. Oh, I got another one for you. Oh, perfect. What's that one called? What's that? Okay, good. We all got that one. Easy. That's a fork. Okay, that's a fork. We got it. Don't make Mark suffer. No, I'm just testing you guys. We've learned a few new a few new terms today. It's important to practice them. Okay, we got to get back to developing here. Central pawn. So far, we had a nice little pin. Nice little skewer, depending on who you are and what you are. And then we got a fork. Oh, it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. It is kind of crazy how simple tactics like that they really will help you. They really will help you improve, like a tremendous amount. You know, if we don't see those tactics, we can't play any of the moves we played so far in this game. Okay, bishop d5. It's a good move by him. I'm gonna continue to develop. Why not bishop f4 and get the knight out? Well, bishop f4, I can't really get my knight out, right? Because he's still covering it, but it attacks the center. It looks like a good move. Giggle flat, yes. It was definitely a lot like sarcasm because it definitely was. Bishop b5 is absolutely a pin. But in 2021, you didn't hear me say that. You didn't hear me say that. Wow, Sam Paxton. Sam Paxton, if we get to play h3, our escape square for our king, and save our bishop at the same time? Oh, you got to be kidding me. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, wow. This game is just working. Everything is perfect right now. Okay, let's bring the rook over. Okay, he's offering me a trade. Thanks, Andres, for the raid. 47 people, welcome. We are... we're not necessarily doing a speed run here, so keep that in mind. I'm not trying to win every game, get as high elo as possible, as quick as possible. I am trying to follow a set of habits and guidelines that I've laid out. You're not going to play the best move every time, but you're going to play the best move most of the time, and you're going to build good fundamentals. And we're going to see what ELO we get to following these rules. Thanks for the raid, though, Andres. Hopefully you got some people that are ready to learn. Maybe, you know, in the under 1200 bracket. It'll be very applicable for them. Okay, he's taking. We're obviously going to take right back. Take me, I take you. They all are. Perfect. Perfect. Well, welcome, guys. Let's finish development here. Rook to the middle of the board, and look at that. I'm completely finished development. Okay, we'll see what he does here, but he's pretty close to being finished off. Okay. On up to b5, and, well, the great thing about this is that the fundamentals would tell you that we're supposed to do captures. The fundamentals, guys. We're practicing the fundamentals. And then we'll just give him a check, see what happens. Oh, would you look at that? The fundamentals are paying off. Pawn takes pawn. Go for captures when possible. Oh, would you look at that? It opened up our bishop there. The fundamentals getting us checkmates. We'll take it. Let's get another game in. Roku. Let's see if we can follow these rules and get another win. Again, these are my first... one of these moves is my first move of the game. I can't play e5. I'm going to play d5. Okay, he goes here. Let's... I mean, we'll just sort of get the pieces. The knight's out. He's playing a different opening. We haven't really seen this. Anytime that I can go e5, d5, we're definitely going to be playing it. Yep, Blonde Maestro in chat. Big deal. Okay, play d4. It's a capture. We're going to do it. Takes. Okay, I think we just basically get the pieces developed. So here, castle, bishop out, central squares. You see how every piece that I'm developing is pretty much contributing in the center. And as you get a little bit higher, you realize that moves like this contribute to the center, moves like this contribute to the center, and moves like this contribute to the center because it's removing one of his pieces that is attacking two central squares. So all of those moves contribute in their own way. Okay, let's castle. Okay, bishop there. You know, we go for this. Takes. We're going to take back. Not with our pawn, of course. There's times where we have to ruin our pawns, but usually we don't want to if we don't have to. Okay, takes our pawn in the middle of the board. Our queen's being attacked. I think most of the time when our queen's being attacked, we generally go back here, so I'm going to do that. Sure, Fractal, but I actually don't think that learning opening names when you're starting out is very relevant. I mean, I don't know. Unless you're trying to get a date with a girl or something, trying to impress her at chess trivia night, you're definitely not going places in chess knowing that something is called the like Blackmar Deemer Gambit. It's like, no. That's not that's not getting you laid, buddy. E4. Okay, he's expanding in the center. I'm going to continue bring my rook to the middle. There's bishop probably out to g4. And how about Z Changji with 5 gifted subs? Appreciate that. Z Changji. And I'm not sure if anyone even remembers this guy. But C Herrera 96 resub for 40 months. He says, did y'all miss me? Does anyone in chat right now know why C Herrera 96 was banned from our chat for 1 month? He just served a 1 month ban and now he's back. Does anyone know why? Okay, queen d3, our turn. I guess we'll continue to develop here. Marbles? Nope. Incorrect. Incorrect. Chris Herrera plays sub-battle game. Yes, a few people know. And he was up an entire rook with 1.5 minutes on this clock. He had a rook and a bishop and even pawns, symmetrical pawns, against just a knight. And his opponent took that knight and he jumped it all the way around the board. He took his bishop with that knight. He took his rook with that knight. And then he took all his pawns with one single knight. Single knight took everything in his position. So he got banned for a month. Now he's back. Yeah, and I said during the game when he was up the rook, I said, if he doesn't win this game, I'm banning him for a month. And he proceeded to lose every single thing on the entire board. So I banned him for a month. Okay, bishop there. Let's continue development. It was rough. It was rough. Okay, h3. What have we been doing? We've been going bishop back. Let's continue that trend. You like that I actually banned him for a month? Well, he just resubbed. You know what he resubbed for? 40 months. Guys, I don't go light on my longtime subs. You know? Chris Herrera. I love the guy. Huge supporter of the channel. He's been around for a while. You're going to play shit chess like that? You're going to get fucking banned. He learned his lesson and he's back. Of course he's not going anywhere. Chris is a good guy. But I hope he knows that he deserves to get banned. He's back and he's stronger than ever. He's back and he's stronger than ever. And he's spamming emotes. He's got higher energy than a lot of you plebs in chat. Took it like a man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He's ready for another sub battle. Yup. Yup. All right, he's bringing the knight back. Let's bring the rook to the middle. Okay, d5. Now, generally, when our knight gets attacked, what do? We always look at the center squares. Can I go there? No. There? e5? Yes. He's ready for another ban. Yep. Okay, knight takes e5. Let's take with the bishop. Hey, knight fighter. That's a good question. How has your rating been, Chris? Have you been playing chess since the ban? People want to know if your rating's gone up, buddy. Oh, he's castling that way. Well, guys, we've got everything. It's time for our random pawn moves, right? Time for our random pawn moves. Let's go here. It would be nice in general to prevent him from playing f4, but I think that's kind of advanced. We don't really want to be giving up bishops for knights, so let's keep that guy. F5, hitting our bishop. We only have one square to go to, and it's here. And it's here. Big code. Don't know what that link is, buddy guy. But not gonna have that chilling in chat. All right, he goes here. Let's take it. It's a pawn push. The clip of me, that's fine. Still can't have plebs linking stuff. Rook takes. Okay, he's actually threatening that. I'm gonna put my bishop back on that square. That's a sub privilege. That's a sub privilege, buddy. Knight to b5. So he's hitting my bishop here. I think I want to move this guy to save it. May as well choose the center square. It also attacks the rook. Why not? There we go. Big code. What are you linking? Let's see it, buddy. Thank you for the reset, Big Code. Reactivating his privileges. Okay, rook f3. Well, we pretty much can't do this. I'm gonna go for this pawn move. Better be a good link. Yep. Now he's not linking it. It's not a good link? Oh, okay. All right. Nice. We literally just got you baited. Let's take this pawn. It's literally a broken link. No? Damn, Big Code just subbed for nothing. Sag. Oh, that's a queen for me. He forgot it was pinned. That's a queen for me. Okay, let's continue. Rook takes here. Damn, he's got a discovered attack. Holy smokes. Doesn't quite work though, Chief. Oh, okay. I respect that move. I'm gonna take your free rook and fall into your trap. Knight f5. That's a recapture. We're under 10 seconds. We are under 10 seconds. Oh, very close game. He played well. Played well. Knight f5. A nice trick from the guy. The L cave. Damn. Oh, man. This is like people who play in Sub Sunday. They all wait for their games in the L cave. There's the chessbrah cave, and then there's just straight up L cave. Just mad dudes taking L's. Queen h5. Okay, he's attacking my pawn. I know my setup is going to be this, so I'm naturally going to choose this move to defend. Bishop c4. My dude from the L cave is looking to take a W here. He's looking to take a W here. Queen takes f7 is the intention. Queen takes f7. How do we stop it? How do we stop it? Well, moving the queen early doesn't make a lot of sense, you know? He's trying the mango cheese. He's trying the mango cheese. G6. I like G6. So far, we're following, I think it's IBDW versus Mango 2021, hosted by chess.com. Queen f3, knight f6. Now blocking it again and developing my knight. Plus, this knight move is, a developing move that I would do anyway, basically. He goes d3. It looks like maybe he's threatening something like that. Can't really tell. Now that I've played this, I'm probably going to end up putting my bishop here. I could put it out there, but I'm a little bit concerned about this pin. This pin looks very nasty. Pin looks very nasty. But yeah, I think he's just strengthening the center. He's gonna play like bishop there. Knight d4, please. Knight d4, please, guys. Guys, we gotta focus on development. I got knight d4. He goes back. What am I doing? I'm not doing anything. Let's focus on development. I'm gonna play d6, strengthen the center. I'm gonna play bishop here. Knight d4. Remember, you don't want to like move a piece and then immediately move it again, if you can avoid it. Generally, you want to get all your pieces developed. All your pieces. G4. So I'm attacking that 2 times, and he's defending it once. Bishop takerino. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's got. I think we might be sending him to the L cave. What about the Vienna Gambit? I'm ready for the Vienna. If anyone remembered it during this stream, we looked at the Vienna. And I think we're ready for it. Now, bishop takes f6. Bishop takes f6. Bishop takes queen, bishop takes queen, bishop takes rook. Looks like a very good move. Very good move. But, as I said, we're reactive. We're reactive. So if I see this, I'm going to do something on f6. I'm not going to think about my own stuff. I'm looking at my queen. I'm like, damn, I can't have that hanging. I think it's too advanced to go through this whole thing. So we're going to take that. We're going to take that. Energy Schmurdy. Thanks for the prime sub, dude. Let's see if L Cave comes up with the move. He does. Let's get castled. Let's get castled. Follow the principles, the fundamentals. Reinforcing bad behavior? Not at all. Not at all. We're not reinforcing bad behavior. We are enforcing fundamentals. And some things are just too complicated. You know, you don't know them yet. You'll get there, though. We'll build it up slowly. Trying to skip too many steps. If you're the type of person that is trying to look at the engine afterwards and like, oh, I should play bishop there, bishop there, bishop there. Oh, yeah, that's obvious. I'm going to do that. It's not always going to work like that. You're never going to see, you know, a multi-move tactic. We're sticking to basic tactics, and that's the better way to improve the chess. Okay, knight here. There's a threat. How do we defend? How do we defend? Oh no, my pawn. Yes. Oh no, my pawn. Yeah. Oh, this is a good song. Rook e7. The reason I chose Rook e7 is because I just moved there. Like, I basically just played this move. So I'd rather not go back. I'd rather not move the piece right back. Okay, goes queen there. He's trying to checkmate me. What the hell does this guy think he is? Oh, checkmate me. Very rude. I agree. Very rude. Is knight and bishop for pawn and rook generally good for the pawn and rook side? Yes, it is. For the side who gave up the pawn and rook, I guess. The side who gets the bishop and knight should be happier. Almost all the time. Aren't I not supposed to push my castling pawns? Actually, h6 is a move I always play. g6 is the weird move that I have. And the reason I have it is because he tried to do this early queen move. Oh, L cave. So he comes up with f4. Very reasonable move. Now, pawn takes f4. Would be decent because I would take on this square after. But if I take here, then he goes knight back, guards his queen. Very resourceful, actually. So, of course, the more natural thing is to take the knight. I mean, it's a hanging piece. Of course, we're going to take it. Takes back. Now the queen has to go somewhere. It can't go here, 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 or here. So I've only got 2 squares. Queen here, queen here. I mean, queen f3 looks normal. It makes a threat. It hits the rook. No, it definitely was a good try by him. f4, a very resourceful move. Okay, he's attacking my queen. Again, I don't have any squares to go to. I will choose this because it's a check. Checks are good. Checks are good. Okay, king over. I really haven't finished my development, let's say, so let's bring the rook. That's correct, mastered r6. That's correct. We're done our development. We can start bringing the guys in to the middle. Okay, he's offering a trade. You guys know we take those in a heartbeat. Knight in the middle of the board, and how about some random pawn moves? You guys ready for those? A5. There we go. Random pawn moves. Yeah, it's everyone's favorite time. No tactics is a rule. Not anymore. Not anymore. We can do the basic tactics. Oh. Oh, A4. Where's our friend gonna go now? Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Look at our random pawn moves. You guys laugh at them, but we just want a piece. The best thing we did in this entire game was do a random pawn move. Okay, we'll stay in the center. Yep, knight in the middle. Yes, Shizno. Definitely yes on that, man. Oh, that's a capture. Okay, let's bring our knight here. We're making a threat. We'll see if he defends it. Oh, he's attacking my rook. Okay. He's attacking my rook. Let's go like that. Remember, I still want to take this pawn. Took my pawn is a good move. I'll take this in the center. I can pre-move that because it's a check. And we can try to push the center pawn. Maybe pre-move the recapture. With 2.9 seconds, it's looking dire. Dire. Maybe pre-move the push. Check. Pre-move a check. Pre-move again. Pre-move check again. Pre-move check again. Pre-move check again. Oh. Pre-move again. Oh, pre-move again. Oh, pre-move the capture. Oh. This guy played some tricky moves. We got sent to the L cave. We got sent to the L cave. GG. The Canadian lad played well. He really did. This was a really good move by him. He was about to lose a piece. Played f4. I thought this was reasonable. Like, it loses even more after this move, probably. But I think it's a very good try. Because that's a tough move to see. Then the knight goes back, guards that, and you have to see that you're winning that rook over there. Not very easy to do. Not very easy to do. Definitely got KO'd by the L cave, for sure. No, I mean the guy played a solid game. The guy played a solid game. Hard stuck 800, exactly. We've been hovering around 800 for a little bit now. We definitely have. All right, let's get a few more games. I think we'll wrap up pretty soon here, but see if we can come back, win a few. We've been stuck around 800 for a little bit. E4, E5, knight F3, knight F6. Well, we've been playing this every time. And wow, so is he. Look at those pre-moves coming in. Holy smokes. This guy is pre-moving right. I mean, what level is this guy on? Bishop out. Okay, we'll castle. And I said if I can play d4 instead of d3 after we've done some of the basic moves and castled, I'll always do d4. Okay, I'll take like this. Something like that, Brock. Yeah, something like that. Thanks, Fox for the the 2 months. Okay, queen over. Well, this is a capture, so I think we'll do it. Yeah, pawn behind bishop's never good, but he's fixed it now. Develop, rook, bishop out. Also bishop here as well. It's not really pinning anything, but for that reason, maybe I'll play bishop here instead. He's attacking our queen. That's annoying. F3 is not really a move we've ever played, so I think I might move my queen, but sort of new territory. Let's bring our queen out. I'm very confused what I'm trying to teach here or do. Well, if you do !habits info, you will see we are following a certain set of rules. You can see what the rules are. They're written on the sheet there. It's a nice little graphic for you to look at. And we're trying to develop some good habits. And we've had, well, the first image on that link is going to be the rules from the first edition. And now we have the updated rules. So there should be certain rules that will be able to take you through the different levels, especially since starting out as a very beginner. Before our knight's under attack, we can't go into the center. We always be looking to go in the center where possible. The next best square is probably e2. Yep, potent. e2 still hits the center square. Can't go here or here. h3 should be next. Well, I agree in terms of getting rid of that bishop. But in terms of, let's say, developing and whatnot, you know, there's lots of moves we'd want to do before playing h3 as an escape square. Okay, if we can trade that, we will. If we can trade the queens, we usually take it. And after knight takes, we have an option here to do something special. That's right. We can travel from the L cave to Fork City. The L cave to Fork City. That pawn attacks both things at once. Now you got to train yourself to look for that. Whenever there's two pieces, you know, exactly one square apart, a pawn will almost always fork them if it gets there. Bishop check. King's being attacked. Any suggestions? Call an ambulance, but not for me. Knight d4? Well, knight d4 is going to be free material. We cannot give away free material. Knight d4, he just takes it and laughs at us. King h1, there's going to be a knight check. King here, he's going to be able to do a discovered attack. Can't let him do that. There's no way. There's just no way. Can't let him. Bishop e3 also loses a bishop. Also loses a bishop. There's no way that we can be giving away things for free. That is part of the rules. We still have our threat, though. Don't forget about this. I know he's the one making threats against us, but, you know, once that's all said and done, he's still got to answer about that, you know? Hey, one of the most important things for you to practice is not hanging free pieces, really. If you play an entire game without hanging a piece for free, it's already a good sign. Try to do that over and over. Okay, bishop there. We're definitely going to take. And now we're at material, but we still need to finish development. This piece hasn't been developed, so we're going to develop it to attack the center. Bring our rook over. Okay, finishing development here. This pawn isn't important. If you start getting greedy chasing pawns, Bad things might happen. Bishop pair is definitely annoying. Okay, we get attacked by this move. We're going back because we always go here, right? Rook there, we're going to take it. We always take a trade when we have one. And let's play h3. I know it doesn't have an escape square for our king, but let's play h3. We play it in every single game. I think it's a good habit. Okay, rook d2. Time for some random pawn moves. Take free pieces, rules are rules. Pawns aren't pieces, buddy. Sorry to break it to you. Okay, we're gonna take that for sure. We'll take this. We'll basically go for all trades. And now our rook's attacked. We gotta move the rook. Central file looks good. Why do I always trade? I think more often than not, trading pieces will lead you to the right move. Once in a while, you won't play the right move as a result of that, and it happens, but what I'm trying to do is create a cookie cutter system. A set of rules that if you follow them, while you might miss stuff in some games, you will find stuff in other games as a result, and you can follow the rules and your rating will increase. Literally, it's like an infomercial. Not even trolling. I think if you follow the rules that I've laid out, your rating will increase. Plain and simple. Rook takes b2. Let's maybe now we can take that pawn. Check is always tempting, of course. What do we do in an endgame? We want to activate our king into the center of the board, and we want to use our pieces to attack our opponent's pawns. Okay, so now we've done everything. We're just going to try to like maybe bring the rook around behind. Let's say maybe like rook here, attack this pawn. Okay. We aren't very good at calculating how fast this pawn is. He's following some of my advice. I always say, push him, baby. Push him, baby. A tough game. A tough game. A2. Bring the bishop into the center. Check. Okay, we have to go here. We have to go there. Okay, we gotta use our king. Use our king. No. Tragic. We gotta get some pre-moves in. Oh, maybe he doesn't see my bishop. It's too far away. He doesn't notice it. No, he notices it now. It's unfair. See if we can get some pre-moves in. I think he hung his bishop there. Pre-moves, pre-moves. Pre-moves, pre-moves. We saved a draw. I don't know how. He played a good game. He definitely played a good game. Okay, let's get another game, and let's see if we can cross 800 and end on a high note here. Playing an 822. E4, we're going to play E5. 800s will blunder way more than you. I know, and I've talked about this many, many times. At the end of the day, these are the rules. You have to follow them. Following them is obviously easy for me to do, but I'm showing you what happens if you are able to follow them. No one is going to see everything 100% of the time. You are going to blunder some pieces, but the goal is to blunder as little as possible. Eventually, the more you play, the less you will blunder. We've already looked at this. This prevents the fried liver. He's doing it anyway. Doesn't count. I get a free knight. I get a free knight. Hey, he's attacking my queen. I get a free pawn. I get a free pawn. In you know, if you're less than 1,000 rated, trust me, if you do not hang a free piece and you take every free piece your opponent hangs, you'll win a large amount of games. Seriously. if you just practice learning, you know, after every single move, just click all the pieces, see where they move. You can definitely take a lot of games off people just from that. Just from that. Okay, played this there. I think this bishop needs to get developed. Well, g4 looks pretty good. It attacks his queen. Solid, solid. It's a good move. Bishop's being attacked. I'll go back here. Obviously, this is a pretty strong move, but we'll go back here. He offers me a queen trade. I'll take it. I'll look to get castled. We're following all the same principles. I'm generally trying to castle as soon as possible, but within reason. You know, in the last series, in the last set of rules, we said, yeah, castle ASAP. Super important. Now we're just trying to castle early in the game. Trades, we still take them. Any trades we can take, we do. Bring the rooks to the middle, and you know, get the h6 move. So this is a sequence of moves that we've done time and time again. So hopefully that's not too surprising to see those moves. Okay, well, my knight move just attacked a pawn, and his move didn't defend it. Now I'm even going to get a fork. Nice move. I think I would have even played this without knowing it was a fork, because it is a free pawn. But of course, we'll take that material. We'll take that material, and now it is going to be random pawn o'clock. Yep. Time for the random pawn moves. Fork City, followed by random pawns. It's looking good for the home team. It's looking good for the home team. You know, pawn in the center is always good, so honestly, if my random pawn move can be in the center, I'm a big fan. This series will be posted on YouTube either this week or next week. Wanted to finish the entire first series before putting it on YouTube. Okay, we go d5, takes. I could take this knight, and I recommend it in general when you're up material, but that could be hard to remember. So what I've said is that take any trade you can, but one of the trades to be careful of, and it's been paying off in general, is don't give away bishop for a knight for no reason. There's no reason for us to take that other than just to take it. So we're not going to do it. We're going to keep our bishop, and let's see if we can push some pawns in the center. Knight to e3. I've said time and time again, basically, if there is a pawn trade, we should take it. So I will take this, despite my opponent's tricky move that he came up with. Knight there, he's attacking my rook, and he's attacking my pawn. So he just took me to Fork City. He took me to Fork City. I gotta move my rook here. This guy's putting the pressure on. This guy's putting the pressure on. Why am I choosing this square over maybe another square? It's in the center, quite simply. I'm choosing because it's in the center. Can I explain the random pawn moves? Nope, they're just random. They're just pawns over here, usually. If they can be a pawn in the center, yes, but once you're done development, putting your pieces on the correct squares, making an escape square for your king, castling, then you know we throw a couple random pawn moves in there. Okay, let's double. Oh, actually, I mean, I should defend this. Now that he didn't take it, I guess that would be the smart thing to do. What's the logic behind control the center? If you take any piece and you put it in the center of the board, it's gonna control, you know, more squares than on the side. You imagine a knight in the middle, it controls, let's say this knight here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares, and this knight over here controls 1, 2 squares. So pieces in the center control more squares, attack more things. You'll have more scope, and that's always a good thing. It's always a good thing. Doubling the rooks is something we've gotten used to on an open file. Okay, he's attacking us. I think the easiest thing to do is to trade rooks. It's a check. It also trades rooks. I guess all we want to do now is use our rook to try to attack his pawns. So if we can do that, That'll be very effective. Something like this. Let's take. I guess you always take a center pawn first. Taking this pawn is tempting because it helps me get a pass pawn, but I can take it later. I can take it later. And now we have a pass pawn. We're basically planning to push it. That's it. Planning to push that pawn up the board. That's all we're up to. All we're up to. Okay, he's stopping me, so I'm going to help my pawn up the board. It's a good habit to get into when you're pushing your pawn. At some point, he's going to make a move that stops you from pushing your pawn. And all you need to do is go defend that square and help it along the way. Help it along the way. Rook g3. You could say rook g3, but I think long term, if you're pushing a pawn and someone controls the square that you're trying to push it to, and you attack the square you're trying to push it to and help the pawn push, you'll be way more successful. Way more successful. So we're trying to build habits, not necessarily look at every position and say, oh yeah, I'm going to play the best move here and the best move here. No. We're trying to create situations that you can repeat. We're trying to create moves that you can do every time you're faced with a certain situation. So every time you're pushing a pawn, and maybe there's a bishop down here that stops you from playing g2. Am I going to like bring my rook from f4 to like a4 or try to chase his bishop? He's still guarding g2. No, I'm just going to bring my rook down and push my pawn. So it really epitomizes the, I would say it epitomizes the entire series that, you know, if you have a position like this and, you know, there's a pass pawn pushing down the board, you know, there's a bishop and a rook, something like this. You know, if for some reason you get a position like this, the point is that, you know, as you're pushing the pawn down the board, at some point, leave this guy here, you're going to realize it's stuck. So what I'm saying is that it's always the best idea to get in the habit of playing a move that helps you push, help escort that guy down the board. Whereas, you know, if we're trying to like pin this bishop and we do it in one game, then we might think, oh, man, in this game I have to pin it. I'm going to go here, and if he goes there, I'm going to pin the bishop. Or if he goes here, I'm going to keep attacking him. You might waste time. Try to build habits. Don't need to necessarily find the best moves in every position. Was the pin the best move in the last position? Yes, definitely. But the whole point of this series is you want to come up with moves and plans and ideas that you can repeat, do over and over again until they're second nature. When we have this position and our king is castled, is it always going to be the case here that, let's say, is it always going to be the case that h6 is the best escape square? Most of the time, yes, but sometimes g6 is the best. Now, am I going to say, well, hang on, guys, if there's a light square bishop, then you might want to play g6 as long as there's no dark square bishop to take advantage of those holes? No, it just gets too confusing. You know, I could make up a different exception for every single rule, but the main goal is to try to give you overall rules that you can follow. And if I try to make too many exceptions, it's just going to get too confusing. So oftentimes when you see me forego a better move, it's because we're trying to create a habit or trying to create a move that you can repeat every time you're in that situation, rather than a move that is going to work for that one specific situation only. That's the idea. Hey guys, just a reminder that building habits is going to be a regular series on our YouTube channel, so make sure to get subscribed if you are not already. Drop a comment down below for the algorithm and let me know what you thought about the video. See you next time.